Hey guys, Dr. Stephanie here, and today we're going to go through a quick stretch routine that you can add to your daily routine in the morning, at night before you go to bed, or whenever you want to. But these stretches are great because you don't have to be super flexible. I know I'm not the most flexible person in the world, but you still want to stretch. Even if you can't do the splits or bring your foot behind your head, you still want to get some stretching in and maybe improve that flexibility a little bit. It does feel better if you're a little bit more flexible, and so we're going to go through some stretches that even if you're not flexible, you can still do these stretches, and they're pretty easy to incorporate into your daily routine. So first, we're going to lie on our back, and in this position, you're just going to bring one knee up towards your chest, and you just want to hold. So you can just go through this with me. We're just gonna hold each stretch for 20 to 30 seconds. We're not gonna count, so it may be a little bit more or less, but these stretches will help just loosen up pretty much everything. We're gonna try to focus on the lower body and then some upper body and neck as well. And like I said, these stretches are pretty easy, so you don't have to be super flexible. I know I'm not the most flexible person, but you can still do these and you can still improve your flexibility no matter what your age too. Okay, we're gonna switch to the other side and just hold this leg like this, just knee to your chest. This is a good one. It helps improve hip flexor flexibility on the leg that's straight, and then it's also kind of stretching your glutes here on the opposite leg. Now, some people may feel a little bit of pinching in the front of their hip with this move. If you do, you can just kind of bring your knee out to the side a little bit, and that usually relieves some of that pressure. You can just kind of mess around with it a little bit, see what feels the best. But a lot of times pulling straight up doesn't feel great for everybody. Okay, so now from this position, place your hands behind your knee, and you're just gonna straighten your leg as much as you can and hold. As you can see, my hamstrings are not the most flexible, but that's okay. And it's okay if you are flexible too. You just want to bring that leg up as high as you can. And you can bring your toes back too. Sometimes that gets a little more stretch, but you don't have to. You can also kind of pump your foot up and down too. Sometimes that's helpful, but you don't have to do that either. Okay, let's go ahead and switch. So hands behind this knee, straighten that leg, and just hold. And if you feel like you get a cramp or it gets uncomfortable, you don't have to hold quite as long. Sometimes it's helpful too, instead of holding for 20 or 30 seconds, you can hold a stretch for like 10 to 15 seconds and maybe just do more repetitions. Okay, from this position, we're gonna take this knee and cross it over, and you just wanna hold this top hand on top of that knee. Keep this other hand on the ground over here. Try to keep your shoulder, my shoulder's not on the ground, but keep it back. So you don't wanna roll with it, because if you keep it back, then we're really stretching. We're stretching the hip here. We're also stretching along the obliques here, along the side of your back. It's a good quadratus lumborum stretch too. This one just feels good overall. And make sure you keep your head up straight. You can also kind of turn your head to the side too. Get a little neck stretch along with that. All right, now let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Make sure I have enough room here. And if you want to, if you have room to, you can put this arm straight out to the side. That gets a little extra stretch there. And just kind of relax. That's the goal in all these stretches too. Relax into the position. So if you feel like you are straining to get in that position, maybe modify it a little bit, or don't hold it quite as long. Like for this one, if this is really straining on you, you can bring this hand over, and then it's not quite as deep of a stretch there. But just hold. You can practice some deep breathing as you do it too. Okay, now come back on our back, and we're gonna do what's called a piriformis stretch. The piriformis is that deep muscle in your butt. It's a hip rotator. So this is an important one to stretch. That muscle can be the cause of sciatica, some pain down the back of your leg. So you want to cross your foot over here, grab behind your knee with your hands, and just relax that lower leg on that leg. And just hold this. And I'll show you after I do this stretch, before we switch to the other side, I'll show you a modified way to do it if it's difficult for you to get in this position. But this piriformis stretch is a good one. You should really feel it kind of on the leg that's bent. You should feel it kind of deep in that hip. And you can pull your knee back towards you if you want to. You can also kind of push this knee down. All right, so if you need to modify it a little bit, you can keep your foot on the floor like this and just kind of push this knee down. You can bring that foot closer to you and push down. This is just kind of a modified way to do it. Okay, now we'll switch to the other side and then grab behind this knee and just hold, really trying to pull that leg back towards you. And again, you can do some deep breathing. Just really focus on relaxing into the stretch. Because your body won't really stretch if you're too tense and you're not really relaxing into it. You kind of fight against the stretch. So you want to really be as relaxed as possible. Just breathe and relax as much as you can. Do a few more seconds here. All right, and then we'll come down and we're gonna go turn over onto our knees here, and then we're going to put our hands out like this into a child's pose. And from here, you just want to sit back on your feet, and you can rest your head on the floor like I'm doing, or you can put like a rolled up towel under your head. If that's a little bit more comfortable, you can do that, but you just want to relax into the stretch. This is a good one for shoulder mobility. It's also good for upper back and lower back mobility. But again, just kind of breathe into the stretch. We're going to hold 20 to 30 seconds, but you can hold for a minute on this one if you want to. I think this is a good one just for kind of relaxing the whole body. Just breathe. Try to think of your whole rib cage, abdomen expanding as you breathe in this position. Do a few more seconds here. And then from here, we're going to go onto our stomach. And we're going to press up into a prone press up. And so this is the prone press up. We're going to push up onto our hands and just hold this position. Now, if that's hard for you, you can just come onto your elbows here. But this is really good for spinal extension and neck extension too, because you can look up like this. But just hold this position here. Again, try to really relax into it. Breathe. If it gets uncomfortable at any point, you can kind of lower yourself down. But you really want to relax into, really let your back relax especially. Okay, from here, we are going to go into a seated position. And we're going to do a little neck stretch next. So I'm going to sit on the floor because I'm on my mat. You can do it on your mat, but you can also sit in a chair if you want to for this one. But we're just going to take one hand, kind of wrap it over the top of your head, and just pull your head to the side. So this is a good upper trap stretch, these muscles here. I know those muscles get super tight in a lot of people. I know mine get tight a lot. Just stress or working at a desk or being on a phone a lot. even driving. There's a lot of things that can cause tightness in those muscles. So just relax into this, stretch it out. And you can pull more if you want to for a deeper stretch, or you can do a little bit lighter so you're not doing as intense of a stretch. All right, now we're going to take the other hand and just pull to the other side. Same thing here. Just stretch, breathe into that stretch, really feel it right along here. Really try to bring that ear towards your shoulder. And again, you can pull more for a more intense stretch or a little bit lighter for a less intense stretch. Okay, then we're gonna finish with one more stretch, and this one is a little bit more interactive. We're gonna start in a seated position. You're gonna bring your arms in front of you, and we're just gonna open up our arms and look up at the ceiling, and then come back together. And when you come back together, look down, so we're getting a stretch in the back of the neck. So we're just gonna open up and look up, and together and down. Up and down, really opening up those arms as far as you can go. Open and together. Open, together. Open, together. Breathing as you do this. Just do a couple more. Okay, so we were all done. Those are stretches you can do daily, kind of incorporates a little bit of the entire body into it, just kind of gets those muscles loosened up, improves your flexibility a little bit, and hopefully it helps you feel a little bit better throughout the day.